Welcome back to Squelch the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
I'm Man-at-Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage, and we're here to remind you that Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and that games are supposed to be fun.
I'm sorry, Matt, but I believe the line is, Aloha, I'm Man-at-Arms.
No, it's not anymore. No, it was a bad idea in the first place, and I'm never doing it again.
I'm so glad that you've understood that the previous choice was bad.
Yes. Now I feel your pain, Daniel.
Of
Good.
making bad choices in podcasts. Speaking of bad choices in podcasts, have not listened to the most recent episode on Blizzlet, but did read your blog, Daniel. And boy, howdy, seems like the most recent episode of Blizzlet took a new level of hinged.
Yeah. I think that's true.
Question.
Yeah.
How can something get a new level of hinged when it's already unhinged?
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. When something is unhinged, it feels like it's free falling, but maybe there's other levels of important things here, other aspects that could be considered. And at this point, there's nothing. There's nothing left, and I've given up trying.
Welcome to your 40s. No.
You should all go subscribe to Daniel's Substack, though. It's Storm Rage and Friends. Is that what it's called?
So you can subscribe over at, let me make sure, stormrage.substack.com, and then it's titled Storm Rage and Pals, because I have a friend of the show, Torby, who helps me edit some of my posts and is hopefully going to be writing up his top games of 2025 on the Substack as well.
Ooh, big fan of Torby. Got to meet Torby at BlizzletCon. That was a lot of fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about video games. So this week it's a grab bag. Do whatever you want. Do some side quests and hang out with your friends. Do some crafting. I did all those things. Next week, I think we're going to finish the mainline story of the game. Now, that might change if we find that it ends up being more hours than we normally put into the game, but the plan is to play through what Pride had wrought, the final piece, and doom upon all the world. So that's the plan. If it ends up being too much, we'll cut it in half or something, but that is the plan is. And then next up, will be Xmas Effect, where we play the, dare I say masterpiece? I think I do say masterpiece. Mass Effect Andromeda. So, yeah, we're almost Xmas Effect.
I'm getting more and more excited about Mass Effect Andromeda.
I'm legitimately excited.
As we get closer to it, because I think enough time has passed. I think it's going to be a fun time. It's not a great game. It's not going to be cracking anybody's top 10. But I think it'll be a fun time.
I have zero doubt that it's not going to be a fun time. It's 100% going to be a fun time. There's no way it is such a terrible game that it's not fun. I dare say, I bet it's going to be very fun because so many people were mad at it on the internet, which makes me assume it's probably really fun.
Yeah. That's why I'm also looking forward to Veilguard for the same reason.
I am
me
legitimately excited about Veilguard. I have not looked anything up on the internet. I have not read up on anything. I think the name of the main character you play is Rook. I think that's the title, is Rook.
Yeah.
And then I think I know who the big bad is in the game. But other than that, I know nothing. So
I know one of the frustrations from one of the co-hosts here about the idea of Veilguard is that it doesn't import your world state.
Yes,
first I was like, could be a bummer. But I've now played 3 Dragon Age games, and I haven't imported my world state once. So it'll feel like I'm finally on the same playing field as everybody else.
Yeah, I've come to terms with that essentially. That did and still does bum me out. So I think there's like 3 things that you bring into the game, and like one of them is who you dated. So it's like, yeah, it's.
Does it use Dragon Age Keep? Because I'm all set up on that now.
I think it just asks you the questions when you log into the game. I think it's like,
what's the point of Dragon Age Keep then?
Did you see?
Why didn't they do this for Inquisition?
Well, because like, the first, like the sequel 2 and sequel 3 was all about, but Inquisition, I don't care. Like, just if you have a save state on your PC, it should have just taken that save state. Like Origins went to 2, it was like, oh, I see you have a game. I'll just use that game. But then with Inquisition, it was like, hey, did you do this thing that we didn't tell you needed to do? That's very frustrating.
No, it's like actually, you know what they should do is go back to the, remember the old Ultima games where they had you like pick tarot cards, where they ask you a question and like, do you do this or do you do this? And they just do that, and like and then you get warped into the world.
Doesn't Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas do something like that to like determine
similar to
something?
That, yeah.
I feel like it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't remember. We'll get there though.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, sooner rather than later. We're pretty close, to be honest.
I'm honestly looking forward to playing Fallout Directed again.
I think we're doing a great job at staying on topic and keeping this in as under an hour, as was the plan this week. So good job, fam.
Yep.
I'm very proud of us. Let's go thank some patrons.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank you very much, patrons. See, I had a good goof because I didn't update the show notes. So it says, thank you, patrons and Twitch subs, especially Drimsdale. I forgot to update the show notes, so Drimsdale, you get a second thank you.
A bonus.
Thank you very much for that Twitch Prime last week. Your support keeps the podcast ticking. All of your support keeps this podcast ticking. If you want to support the show, head over to twitch.tv/Deano, play the O is a 0, or patreon.com/squelch. $5 a month gets you the podcast the nights it's recorded. So most weeks, that is Sunday night. Thank you very much, everyone. Tonight. We appreciate your support.
This one's a real page turner.
Are you gonna do a thing?
No,
okay.
I did it once and I hated it. So
great.
Because the only real thing that I think I would enjoy is not one that I think anybody else would enjoy, which would just be me going, blah, 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 and like the exact same cadence on every single bit. And I do think that would not be super appealing to the vast majority of folks. So I'm going to do the one thing Squelch never does and show restraint.
Well, I'm not gonna. Lore.
I mean, it's like saying aloha at the beginning of the podcast, right? I mean, it just doesn't work.
All right, let's get to our cast of characters. So we have, at this point, become basically best friends with everybody, I would say. If not best friends, we know them pretty well. So we're going to let you all know them pretty well as well. So this updated our cast of characters with kind of like where they are currently in their journey in the Inquisition. So let's start with this is a lot. Should we go ahead and like go Matt? So me, Matt, Stormrage. Should we just do that with all this?
That works.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start off. Cullen, commander of the military forces, former Templar who served at the gallows and Kinloch Hold. This dude has the absolute worst luck. He's addicted to lyrium. We can help him kick that habit. Or not, if you're Matt.
Hey, he kicked the habit. I picked it up. It's fine. As a friend, it's like, hey, you need me to kick that? I'll take care of that for you.
Look how much fun I'm having.
Josephine, she's the ambassador and chief diplomat, and Antiva Noble. Your family wants to get super rich again, and we can help with that. So we do.
Then we have Liliana, who is our spy master and former companion of the hero of Ferelden. And in some games, you might have a hero of Ferelden that's still alive. Not me. She was the left hand of the Divine, and she is a candidate to be the next Divine. As a hypothetical candidate, she believes in radical reform, but is unbelievably guilt-ridden over the fact that the last divine died, and she views her death as a failure unto Liliana and blames herself for it. Depending on the... yes, Dano?
No, Dean has a friend over, and there are noises.
I thought that you were making
No.
that face at what I was
No,
saying,
what
and
you
I
said
was
was
like,
great, way better. We need to make sure we
I
put
was-
that in the podcast notes for next week.
And throughout the course of the game, she can either be built up into a extremely radically tyrannical candidate for the divine, or a much more kind of justice in the form of acceptance and softening of her position. And I will want to talk about that later, because it was a very frustrating time for me.
So we have a fourth advisor now. We have Morgan. She is our ambassador to Orlais. She has a Meryl mirror. You remember the Meryl mirror? That was the mirror that Meryl was obsessed with and did the blood magic with. But unlike Meryl, she actually got hers working. So we walked into it, like literally walked into the mirror, like through the looking glass type of stuff. And it leads to a fancy elf mirror highway where all the mirrors are connected. They're no longer connected. Some of them are still connected though, and some of them lead to weird places. Morgan tells us this is what Corypheus is after. He wants to use the elf mirror highway to get to the Fade. Morgan wants to stop that. She also has a kid, if you convinced Alistair to write a letter to the stork with her. Yes, Storm Rage.
Can I just add in a little bit here? I think that this is really interesting world building, because she talks about how like some of the original elves and the manipulators of magic came across this realm, and it is a realm that is halfway between ours and the Fade. So Corypheus wants to use these not because any of these mirrors like lead to the Fade, but because he believes that the kind of veil between this world and the Fade is thin enough that even without the anchor point, he can rip it open and successfully enter into the Fade once again. And I think that is rad as heck. And
Yes.
I also wish that I knew more about Morrigan's kid, because that seems super cool.
It's not.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, no, he's just a kid. He's
Okay.
just like a kid. I can't tell you how disappointed I was when he was just like kind of a polite kid, and Morgan is just like a good mom. And you're like, so where's his dad? And she's like, I raised him myself. Deal with it. I'm a mom. I'm a good mom. And you're like, yeah, you actually are. She's like a grown up.
I mean, she still doesn't have a shirt, but
well,
you know,
no,
it
she still wears her PJs. But you know,
Yeah.
she's a busy mom. She's a busy single mom. Don't
Yeah.
judge her.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But no, she's great. It's so like essentially what happened with when her and Alistair write to the stork. What happens is instead of the warden having to sacrifice themselves and take in the like that darkspawn soul or whatever it is, she siphoned the old god soul into like this child that she was a child in her womb essentially. And so that's like this child has the soul of an old god, but other than that, he's just like a normal kid. So like maybe we have to deal with this in the next game. I imagine at some point we have to deal with this. It seems like a big deal. Yes, Matt.
If your hero for Eldon wrote the letter and was a dwarf, would the kid be shorter?
It's magic. Can you do it if you're a dwarf? Can like
Yes, I did.
I have so many questions. We should move on to Blackwall, though. Seems like a Blizzlet episode, not a Squelch episode. Moving on.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions that I'm trying to figure out in any way, shape, or form. Can I format them in a way that is appropriate for Squelch? The answer is no. But just know, hey listener, I'm thinking the same logistical questions that you are, and I will ask them later.
Let me just enjoy this can of Coke. Anyway, Blackwall. He's a wandering Grey Warden and his new search of new recruits, and more on him later in this episode.
I don't know why. I really expected that one to be longer. It's not. It's 2 sentences. So I took a
Yeah.
very small bite of brownie, and I made such a big mistake, guys.
I mean, I could say
I
it's
saw
slower
you
if
chewing
need
away,
to.
and I was like, that was a bold decision. Truly a bold decision.
He's also really cool, but also annoying for me in combat because he uses his like get over here way too often when he's not near me.
You could
He
turn it
does
off.
do that. Yeah.
I know,
But I don't want to. Thank you for
I don't
stalling,
want to.
Matt. I am back. Next up, we have Cassandra. Cassandra is a Seeker, which is like a fancy Templar. She was the right hand of the Divine, and she is also a candidate to be the next Divine. She believes in reform, but not nearly as drastically as Liliana does. Liliana wants to break everything down and bring it all back up eventually and in different ways. Cassandra wants to be like, all right, the Chantry is good, but we can make it better, which is significantly different. And she's also... she just loves romance, and she's delightful, and I love her a lot. She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, she's great. Up next is Cole. He is a spirit who created his own human body to inhabit. We can help him to remain a free spirit or become a real boy.
He's
Quick
a free
question.
spirit.
Yeah,
Did anybody make him a free spirit, or did everybody go real boy?
Matt
spirit
with
over
free
here.
spirit.
Yeah, of course Matt did.
I know
Matt-
he did. I made him a real boy too. Why would you want to be a real boy?
I didn't know it'd make Varric mad at me. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that this game, Matt.
Yeah.
There's so much.
He's like, yeah, this hawk is great. This guy, he sucks.
Alternate universe
All right.
Hawk is awful.
Yeah.
That's true.
All
Hashtag
right,
not
so
my hawk.
Dorian. All right, so Dorian's a mage from Deventer. His dad is mad that he is gay because it means he won't continue his bloodline. If 2 or 3 people he's dating Iron Bull. The Iron Bull's mine.
When this came up, I kind of forgot, and not to get too political, but he was like, I'm gay and my dad doesn't approve. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. That was like a bold political statement to make back in 2014.
Yep.
Man, I'm glad that would be kind of a forced plot point nowadays.
I'll talk about it later about the Iron Bull and my Inquisitor because it's interesting that it's. We'll talk about it later.
I feel like
Okay.
they handle
Okay.
a lot
I'm
of that
excited.
stuff really well in this game.
I
Yeah.
do too. Like, I think that they deal with a lot of those topics in a way that is approachable as long as you're not somebody that is like, not in my video games.
Yeah.
And I think that they do it in a way that is like non-judgmental to people that are maybe like not fully there yet, and just being like, hey, here's a way to like just be aware of other people's life experiences and how things affect them. And I think it's really well done.
I mean, we talked about it with Krem last week, where Krem is just this great character that you can just ask questions to. You really can't ask people like that those questions in real life. So
Yep.
The Iron Bull and Dorian dating, though, it is ridiculously funny when you do get to that. You finally get, because it's banter when you're out in the field, and it's legitimately wonderful. I really can't do it justice without just reading it verbatim. And
I'm so excited. I've been trying. I've had them on my party for so long, but apparently it doesn't lock until you lock in your romance. So I finally did that this week, and I haven't done enough like outdoor questing. I've just been doing companion quest, which is just like walk, do thing, walk, do thing, walk, do thing, and there's like not enough time for companion chats. But I'm very excited.
you'll get a lot of that in the DLCs, if that's still
Okay.
possible in the DLCs. So
Okay, nice. We also have Iron Bull, who is a Kunari with the Reaver specialization. Iron Bull was an agent of the Ben Hasrath when we first met him. But we go on a mission to get the Kunari to be a powerful ally of the Inquisition. And oopsie doopsies, things go bad. And we end up having to choose between the Bull's Chargers, the crew that Iron Bull has, or the Kunari Alliance. And I chose the Bull's Chargers. Dano, I imagine you did the same. Matt, did you make Iron Bull sad?
no, I made him sad because he's no longer part of the Ben Hasrath. He's now like I saved the Chargers because like as
Wow.
he-
for 3,
Wow.
how can you sacrifice the Chargers? They're so good.
right.
Yeah,
Well-
it's the Chargers. It's got Krem. Like If it wasn't for how cool Krem was, I might have considered it, but yeah, Krem's too cool.
No, it would break Bull's heart, man. Bull loves those people.
They're
Yeah.
apostate mage who never admits to being a mage is legitimately one of the best goofs in the entire game.
Yeah.
Like just
It's
this,
really good.
It's just a stick. Why do you keep calling it a staff? It's a stick. It's just so funny. All right, so we have Sarah. She is an elven rogue. She is one of 3 current red Jennies in Thedas. After we go on a pranking spree with Sarah, we become good friends, and we hang out on the roof of the tavern, just chatting about life and eating cookies. And it's just
great.
so wonderful.
It's super great.
It's just
I
so
love
good.
it. I like Sarah a lot.
Yeah.
Solus, he's an elven apostate mage and expert in the Fade. He is besties with the Spirit of Wisdom, and the Spirit needs his help. I haven't done this yet. We rush the Spirit's side, but it's too late. The mages who summon it forced to fight for them and turn it into a pride demon. We even kill the pride demon and destroy the formations of magic that are keeping the pride demon. Solus gets mad if we kill the pride demon. If we destroy the pillars, the spirit still dies, but it dies as a spirit of wisdom. Either way, Solus is super mad at the mages who claim they summoned to protect them against bandits. Sol doesn't care and wants to kill the mages. We can let them kill the mages, or we can stop them. Somebody let them take care of the business. They suck. Also, the leader of this group of mages just had the most pathetic mustache, like 10 wispy hairs.
This absolute dork wagon of a person. I have never met somebody that I was like, if I get the option to kill you, I'm just gonna let you die. Like you look too dorky.
The artist who designed this character, this is a one single-use character model in
It's
almost a
perfect.
throwaway quest. And the
Yes.
artist who designed him deserved an award. It is so good. It is the Dorkwagon is the only way to describe him.
Dorkwag.
And has the most murderable face.
He sure does. Next up, of course, is Varric, the tried and true, the bestest of friends. Former companion of Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall. He also has a bunch of books, and we talked about it last week, but he comes into contact with his former person named Bianca, and they have a past that is still shrouded in a decent amount of mystery, but it's clear that there is certainly some romantic tension there and has been some romance in the past. And she accidentally let it slip to Corypheus that there was a bunch of red lyrium. Oopsie doopsies, we have to go and reshut those doors so that way he doesn't get his hands on it.
She also
And also, we discovered that lyrium is alive.
Got it. Nailed it. Last but certainly not least is Vivian. She remains loyal to the Circle and is the official enchanter to the Imperial Court of Orlais. She is the mistress of Duke Bastien, the leader of the Council of Heralds. You remember them as the ones who pick who gets to be the Emperor or Empress of Orlais. Vivian is friends with Duke Bastien's wife because Vivian is the video game equivalent of Madame de Pompadour. She asks us to find the heart of a snowy wyvern. We can give her a fake one or a real one. She needs it to try to cure Duke Bastien of an incurable disease. It doesn't work. She is a candidate to be the next divine. She believes that the status quo. Yes, Matt, would you like to interject?
If she's the video game equivalent of Madame de Pompadour, did she meet Doctor Who?
Presumably, yes. Presumably,
Cool.
yeah. Fantastic episode, by the way. Makes me teary every
One of the
single
best
time.
Doctor Who
Such
episodes.
a good
One of
episode,
the
Doctor
best.
Who. Absolute banger. Like, you get,
Yeah.
French politics and, crazy, time travel. It is so ding-dang good. Oh, man.
Yep. And Clockwork Robots, which is amazing.
They were so well done, and they were so spooky. That episode's
Yep.
fantastic. Anyways, we need to get the heart of a snowy wyvern so she can cure Duke Bastien of this disease. It doesn't work. And so she is sad. She is also a candidate to be the next divine. She believes that the status quo between mages and Templars is pretty great and must be brought back. to what it was before the Mage Rebellion. And then she's like, maybe eventually we'll work on, what's going on with the Mages and the Templar, but, when we get around to it. Other than that, she's like, let's go back to what it was, because it was perfect. So, good for her.
Part of this wing of this building I need to get rid of, too.
Part of this wing, she needs a ballroom.
As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn.
All right, so Blackwall. Holy buckets, this guy. So, when returning to Blackwall's workshop after our little trip to the bar where he was sad about the dog when he was a kid, we find a note waiting for us. Inquisitor, you've been a friend and an inspiration. You've given me the wisdom to know right from wrong, and, more importantly, the courage to uphold the former. It's been my honor to serve you. And that's it. Dude is gone. So, after discussing the situation with Liliana, her spies discover that Blackwall is heading to Valroyo, where someone named Mornay is set to be executed. When we get there, we find Mornay at the gallows with the noose around his neck. Your companions...
Real quick.
Yes.
I was just going to say, if you can't get this quest to trigger, it's probably because one of Liliana's spies comes in after you read the note and is like, hey, are you wondering where Blackwall is? Here's where he is. But there's no indication anywhere that you need to talk to this dude. And if you don't talk to him, the next quest chain doesn't trigger. It tripped me up for a while.
That's absolutely.
That's why I haven't gotten it.
I didn't even realize he was gone until I went to pick my party, and I was like, why is there next over Blackwall? Because I just haven't used him much this playthrough. It's been basically Cassandra main tanking. So can you read what Sarah says for me here, Storm Rage?
Poor bastard. So where's the food? Orlesians always stock these things.
Speaking about executions, it made me chuckle. So just as the executor is about to execute the man, Blackwall walks up and stops the execution, saying Mornay was only following orders. The executor, I really needed to find a different word there, but it wasn't coming to me, tells Blackwall that if he brings him the man who gave him the orders, then he will set him free. Blackwall turns to him and says, I am the one who gave those orders. The crowd gasps. The warden Blackwall has been dead for years, and that he is the war criminal Tom Rainier, and that this man shouldn't die for his crime. At this time, they take the artist formerly known as Blackwall to prison. We can follow Rainier, formerly Blackwall, to prison, where he tells us his story. He was a captain in the Orlesian army. The general he served under wanted to gain favor with Gaspard, who he believed to be the rightful emperor of Orlais. So he paid Blackwall to eliminate one of Celine's most ardent supporters. Blackwall sent his troops to take care of the guy, but oopsie poopsie, his family was with him. Did they call off the hit? Nope. They just took care of all of it, his wife and children as well. Rainier, at this point, ran away and was eventually found by the real Warden Blackwall. Warden Blackwall recruited him into the Grey Wardens, and while Rainier was looking for Darkspawn blood for the Grey Warden joining ritual, pre-Blackwall and post-Blackwall were ambushed by some Darkspawn, and pre-Blackwall died, protecting post-Blackwall. Rainier assumed the name of Blackwall to, quote, keep the world from losing a good man, and he just lived the lie of being Blackwall. Sure, he could have gone to the Grey Wardens with the Darkspawn blood and told the story, but he convinced himself that they wouldn't accept him, which is just the most ridiculous self-deception. Which leads us to now. Blackwall sees what real leadership looks like in the form of the Inquisitor and feels guilt for his years of allowing others to pay for his mistake. Colin is waiting for... Yes, sir.
I want to quickly pause here because to kind of follow up on this, at this point, Blackwall's, Rainier, is not a real Grey Warden, right? He still has not consumed the demon blood, which I like, because I, for a while, was just kind of under the assumption that the reason that he didn't get pulled into the other Grey Wardens was because of magic, right? Like, plot necessitated that he did not join the other wardens, and this offers a legitimate explanation. Why was he not pulled in with the other wardens? Well, because he never drank the Darkspawn blood. So why was he out just doing his own thing, never really talked to warden? Because he was never an official warden, and I really liked like introduction of that, and then they're like, we'll hand wave it for now, and then we'll explain it later. Really interesting story choice, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, if you on the second playthrough, so if you know that Blackwall is a living a lie, there are a whole bunch of little breadcrumbs they drop about him just not knowing how Grey Wardens actually work, not understanding about the joining, so it's like there are things that like you can kind of see him like living the lie and then just giving enough or saying what he assumes to be true but doesn't actually know. It's really kind of fun.
And we even talked about it a couple weeks ago. I can't remember when, but I brought up like the fact that he didn't know how to kill an archdemon.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, well, like, I guess it must be because he didn't like finish his training, which is correct. And I accidentally kind of called it. But really, really breadcrumbing there. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, but like when we were in the cave with Hawk and the other Grey Warden, and like you like in Blackwall's in your party, he's like, you feeling it too? He's like, yeah, totally. Like it's like one of those. Like he's like, I'm totally feeling the call.
I've just not decided. I know what Corypheus is and won't allow him to, affect me. I'm awesome like Alistair is.
Yeah.
So Colin is waiting for us in the prison and gives us 3 options. We can wait and decide what to do later, which really isn't an option. We can leave him and let him rot, or we can have him released to us to pass judgment over him. If we leave him, he is executed. If we have him released to us, we have a few options. The first option is to have Josephine call in a favor to the throne and have him released to us. The second is to use Liliana's spies to break him out of prison. Going this route, we pretend to execute him and instead execute a traitor lookalike we just kind of have sitting around in our cupboard. And the third option, I know. You do bound and gag him first, so it like and like I assume put like a fake beard on him, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
I love the
beard
idea
pasted on.
That our Inquisitor has backup copies of all of his friends just in case he needs to do a little executing.
The third option is to have Colin's troops storm the prison. Colin warns us to be prepared for casualties, though. There is also a mission for Liliana called Rainier's Release, an alternative where Liliana uses her connections in the underworld to break him out, but keeps the Inquisition's hands clean. So there are 4 essentially, but most of them all end up to the same option. The only one that's different from the rest of them is if you leave him in jail, he gets executed. Otherwise, any other option leads to him being like set for judgment by the Inquisitor. So if we didn't let him be executed, there are 3 options while we sit in judgment of Rainier. Option 1, we pardon him. He openly lives as Tom Rainier. Everyone keeps calling him Blackwall. It's lame. Option 2, we give him to the Wardens after the Inquisition is over. He stays with us for the time being. Everyone keeps calling him Blackwall. It's lame. Option 3, we force him into servitude to the Inquisition, and we force Rainier to continue living his life, assumed as Blackwall. Blackwall really hates this, but he's not dead, so you're welcome, Blackwall. $10 says this is what Matt did. Everyone keeps calling him Blackwall, which makes sense. Matt, what did you do?
I didn't get this quest to trigger, so I haven't done anything yet.
Oh, you haven't done it? You haven't done the Blackwall thing yet?
I haven't. No, like he's still in my party. I can still select him, so I don't know what's holding. Like maybe I go talk to somebody.
I think you have to go
Just
talk
go
to him.
talk to him.
Yeah, go talk to him.
I've been
He'll
talking to
eventually
him
get
like
so sad about you talking to him, he leaves.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
will happen. Yeah, you go talk to him and he'll go to the
Alright.
bar and tell you about a story about a dog, and then he's gone the next day.
Oh, I
Okay,
didn't like
got
that
it.
story. I didn't like that story at all.
Yeah, terrible story. Terrible story. I don't want to get into it. Stormrage, what did you do?
I had Liliana break him out so it couldn't be traced back to us, and then I pardoned him. I was like, hey, you live your life. And then he immediately is like, thank you. My life is going to serve the Inquisition. I'm going to do the best that I possibly can, and the best that I possibly can is under your leadership. And I was like, perfect. I agree.
You want to know what I did?
How about you, Matt or Dano?
Actions have consequences. I'm sorry. You don't get to murder a family and get away with it just because you've like are my bud. I let him rot in jail.
I mean, you could do
like
murder.
it wasn't just
It
that
might-
family. It was also all the years afterwards of all the men under him, all the soldiers under him, who he just let take the fall, whose lives were ruined. His second in command, who did nothing wrong, well, did some things wrong, but like life was ruined because of decisions he made, right? So it's like actions have consequences. Also, like, I hate how they keep calling him Blackwall.
There's the real reason. There's why Deano
It
doesn't
made-
actually keep him
it-
alive.
It made the decision a lot easier, I'm not gonna lie. If they started calling him
Yeah.
Rainier, it would be much
Yeah.
more interesting at least, but
See, in my Inquisition, you can do a little family murder as a treat.
Just a little bit.
God, do we
As
ever
long as
do?
you eventually
Just
feel real bad about it.
Exactly. If you feel bad about it, it's fine.
I love this quest though, or this whole story. I think the way that it's woven into the entire story of the Inquisition, this Blackwall lie is so good. And then even after this is done, if you go look on the war table, there is the backlash of Blackwall's lies. Because if you use the Warden treaties that Blackwall had because he was a Grey Warden, then you had then approach people under false pretenses, and so then you have to kind of deal with that fallout as well. Very, very cool. Absolutely love the whole Blackwall thing is super fun.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Hey, Storm Rage, what did you do this week in Dragon Age Inquisition? I was letting you type, Matt.
I'm a week behind Deano. I did all the things my friends wanted me to do. It was delightful. I also got my very first dragon kill, which was a very fun time and not nearly as scary as I was worried about. I think I am fairly, not necessarily well equipped. I think I've got fine or adequate equipment, but I am leveled enough and my skills are powerful enough that I can do that. And it was super fun. I might go try killing a couple other dragons next week.
Nice.
The thing that I think was most interesting and different is that I locked in my romance with Cassandra, and it escalated in a way I did not expect. Because I am used to, in most like romance type games, there's a lock-in romance. You go on like a first date, or like you have like a I care about you kind of thing, and then near the end of the game is where like the super spicy scene happens. And so I was kind of expecting that. And then I finished the quest where I got some candles and a book, and then very quickly the video became not okay for children, and I was like, whoa, okay. But overall I love the romance that they present with Cassandra. I also really like there's a small little thing that they do where you can just, at any point after you've locked in a romance, you can be like, hey, we should spend some time together. And it's just a repeated video scene, but it's you and, in this case, Cassandra. I'm guessing that it has it with the other partners. And it's just us, like, kind of holding hands and reading a book together. And it's super cute. And I was a real big fan. And I am excited to see where it goes. But now Cassandra can't be the divine, because then she will be taken away from me, and I don't want that.
Oh, I see. Cassandra, in this playthrough, I think is my favorite character. Though Iron Bull is awesome, and Dorian and Sarah, but Cassandra, I did not like her in my first like 300 hours of this game. I didn't dislike her. She was kind of just like whatever.
Yeah.
Big fan of Cassandra. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really fun character.
She's like a fully fleshed out, great like character, just overall, just in
Yes.
general.
Yeah. She's. Go ahead.
What I like about her is that she has like the most complete and genuine plot arc of like, here's some things that you might want to be, you might be a little frustrated by about her, or that you might be a little bit rigid in, and then she like genuinely grapples with issues and doesn't come to an easy solution at any point. It's like, I don't like the Seekers, this thing that I cared about my entire life that was my identity, turns out is terrible. And I don't know what to do with that information. That's really tough information. And like her overall arc is just so well written and so interesting. And I think that she is also my favorite companion.
Indeed. Matt, what'd you do this week?
I helped a bunch of friends. I'm on Varric's good side finally again.
Nice.
For now, we'll see how that changes within the next week if I'm no longer his friend after next week. Because I helped him and Bianca out. I also cleared out some red lyrium. I did like those the red lyrium Templars on the Storm Coast. Cleared those out. That was fun. Finished up the hinterlands. Finished up some stuff I need to do. I still need to go kill the dragon. Haven't done that yet. Iron Bull and Iron Item. It's very fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Talked with Morgan a bit. She seems mistaken that my that the hero Ferelden was a female and not a dwarf, and was also dead. She seems wrong. I don't know. Like, he was a dwarf. He was alive, and they had a child.
It's kind of too bad that you didn't get your playthrough. It'd be really interesting to see what happened there.
Right. I cleared Josephine's bounty, which she seemed kind of like, great, thanks about.
Yeah.
She didn't seem that happy about it, but like, it's done. Did Liliana's mission where she was released by Justina. It was also very strange, where I had to murder a Chantry sister and a Chantry. That was fun. Found out the Seekers were tainted by the Lord Seeker with Cassandra and said, hey, you should rebuild those Seekers under your image. That'd be great. And she liked that a lot. So, yeah. That's what I did.
Nice. Good work. I did so much. So first and foremost, I finally 100% of the hinterlands. I had one quest left to do in the hinterlands where you have to have that late game flower that you can only get in like the Emerald Graves. And so I finally got that flower, went back to the hinterlands, put it on the monument that I was supposed to put it on, and expected some big crazy thing. And it was just like a plain spirit, like just one of those green spirits that you fight a million of during any sort of like rift break. And I was like, oh, that was anticlimactic. And so hinterlands are done though, so that's nice. I've also fully cleared the Exalted Plains and Empire du Lion, and then got a good start on Emerald Graves. I also think I've completely busted the game with my build. So I officially have like 74% crit chance. So I crit 74% of the time. And I have 2 AoE attacks that do like that throw like either multiple arrows or multiple grenades. So like there'll be like 5 or 6 arrows or 5 or 6 grenades. Each will have a chance to crit. And then now I have an ability that gives me 10 stamina every time something crits. So I can essentially just spam my AoE attacks like nonstop because I have infinite stamina. It's a ton of fun. That wasn't even part of the build I was using. I was just like looking through the tree and I was like, wait a minute. If I got this, like, I think I just break the game with how much crit chance I have. And I do. It's fantastic.
Nice.
All right. So in the Exalted Plains, which are a ton of fun, there's 3 things to do here. So you have the War of the Lions. This is the civil war between Gaspar and Celine. There are some elves there, some of the Danish elves, and then there is a Daggeron. So the big thing is the War of the Lions, though. So this is the civil war between Gaspar and Celine. And most of that fight took place on the Exalted Plains. So this region is filled with trenches that were built during the war. Corypheus sent some inventory agents to raise the dead and sow some chaos. So we have to kill the agents. Also then we have to kill the agents and then kill some undead to clear out that area. There are an absolute ton of undead to deal with, but they're not too difficult to deal. There's just a bunch of them, which is how that should be. They're basically a zombie apocalypse horde. And then each one of the hordes is guarded by and arcane horror, and those things are super tough. Like, we're talking Dragon Age 2 like mages, where they just like use their busted ability and then just like smokes down one of your party members. So real powerful. Each battlefield has a mass grave that is protected by an arcane field created by the Vanatori. So we have to kill the arcane horror, destroy the magic barrier while being attacked by corpses, and then burn the corpse pile to stop the undead horde. There's like 4 or 5 of these throughout the region. Super fun, kind of little bit of like storytelling via the environment, and I really enjoyed it. The elves in the area, kind of lame actually. So there are some elves and they don't want to deal with us because we're human, and they send you on like 5 or 6 McMuffin quests, and then they like you at the end. That's all there really is to it. And then there's a cool storm dragon to fight. Yeah.
I just ran past them in my playthrough, and as an elf, I wonder if they'll be nicer to me.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting actually to find out. I hope they are. Yeah, and it's not like they're like, we don't trust Shemlins. Like, okay, cool. And they're like, and so like, hey, we need a bunch of this, that, and the other thing. And you're like, okay, I can get that for you. And then like, hey, could you also go take care of these undead? And like, yeah, I can do that for you. And then the guy at the end is like, I want to join the Inquisition. You're like, cool. Now that your keeper likes me, you can join the Inquisition. It's fine. It's good. It's just like as good as the War of the Lions like area is. This is pretty like mundane, old timey like RPG McMuffin hunting, and we haven't had a ton of that really in like the interesting story parts of the game. So it was a little disappointing. And then a super cool dragon fight in one of the more difficult areas to open up in the game. So you have to actually use a war table operation to open it up. And then it's this area that has a whole bunch of cool stuff in it, multiple rifts, a crazy swamp that has a bunch of like fairly difficult wyverns to fight. And then you get to the end in the swamp and there's a storm dragon. And if you are standing in any of like the swampy water, because it's like water, land, you know, so it's like this marshy area, you get zapped hard when it uses lightning breath. Really fun dragon fight, actually. Super, super fun fight.
That's cool.
And then Empire du Lion, this is also part of Orlais, and we are stopping a red lyrium mining operation that the Red Templars are doing. So they bought up a quarry and are using slaves from nearby town to mine red lyrium. We fight through the region and stop the mining operation. We also learn that the mayor and former owner of the mine knew what was going on, but kept selling townspeople. She only sent the sick and the elderly, and then she used the money to feed the remaining townspeople. She says she did it because the Red Templars were going to take what they wanted anyways, but this way not everyone had to die, and we get to judge her, which is a kind of a satisfying one. I told her that she needs to use the money she made to rebuild the town. That was pretty good. And then this one has a full-on dragon quest where there are 3 dragons in the area that you have to go in this one special area to fight. And so there's 2 ice dragons and a fire dragon. It's absolutely fantastic. I think at this point in the game, I have killed 9 of the 10 dragons in the base game. So 1 more, and I will have killed them all at equal level with that difficulty setting on, and then also at nightmare difficulty. So I'm hoping for a really good achievement at the end of this. I've already killed all 10 on hard mode, and that was like 5.4% achievement or something like that. So I'm hoping for like a sweet achievement on this one. So yeah, 1 more dragon left.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Munch, munch, munch.
That's very big font. I can't miss that one. I've got the first good, and the first good is crafting is so much fun in this game. There's just a ton of crafting materials, like and then the schematics. There are schematics everywhere. Some fantastic schematics, some not so fantastic. Each crafting material has multiple things that it can do. So it can add like a base stat, or it can add crit, or it can add a resistance. And depending on the schematic, whether it's utility, defense, or offense, it will change. So a whole lot of thought has to go into what things you use to, like what schematic you use to craft, what materials. Yes, Matt?
If you use like certain materials as well for armor, it changes color.
It does.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
It's really super cool.
Yeah. Is also, did you see the tinting station?
Yeah, I use that too. But
yeah.
but
Yeah,
like,
you can also tint the
there's
armor
some
with the
good
tinting
stuff.
station. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
There's also these masterwork materials that were added to the game. So there's either the ability to create a masterwork, which is a 10% to all stats, which is fine, or there are these fade touched materials which can add absolutely broken things to the game. So they can stack if you stack them the right way. So if you so that you have to use different tiers though. So if you use a tier 2 ability on your armor and a tier 3 ability on your weapon, or vice versa, they'll stack. And so I have Hidden Blades, which does cast 5. There's a 10% chance to cast Hidden Blades, which does 5 Hidden Blades on whenever it attacks. And then the second tier does 3 Hidden Blades. And so 10% for each of those. So I also have a bonus ability on everything that I do, and each one of those can crit as well. The amount of damage I do on my character is absolutely insane after these masterwork things are put together. It's so much fun. So there's a lot of thought can go into how, like, what you craft and that kind of stuff, and how you find the things and find the materials. You can either buy the materials, which some have limited amounts, or you can farm them. A ton of fun goes into it. It's not a cheap hobby. Like, some of the best like schematics are like 15,000 gold, but totally worth it.
I haven't spent any gold. I don't spend gold. I just like collect it and I never use it.
You just use it on schematics. Nothing else to use it on.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Or you can buy weapons and armor as well. There's some really good stuff at the Black Emporium to buy.
Is there good stuff in there? Okay, I'll take a look at that eventually.
I'll go ahead and take the second good. So this is a week of Oops All Goods, but I'm gonna let's say 2.5 goods, because the reason this is a good is because there was first a bad, and the overall throughout the game there are 4 conversations that you can have with Liliana, and if you don't answer them in extremely specific prompts, then Liliana will become an absolutely insane murderous tyrant that views every single life as expendable and kind of worthless unless you are worth something to her. And throughout the entire game, I could tell that this was a part of it, and I kept trying to answer in the kindest way possible. Of like, hey, shouldn't treat people that way. Hey, all of our soldiers' lives matter. Hey, you can't just look at this as black and white. Like, there are people's lives at stake here. You need to have more emotion. And then I did Liliana's side quest. And at the end of Liliana's side quest, you get to choose whether or not to kill this person that has kind of been a traitor. And I was like, nope, don't do it. And then I clicked, don't do it. And then she said, I don't care what you just clicked, kill. And I went, what? And then I talked to her afterwards, and she was like, turns out I just love to murder people, and that's just going to be the way that it is. And I was like, this is an insane overreaction. And it was, I think I crashed out hard, and for the first time, I was the one in the Squelch Discord that was like, this is stupid, this is dumb, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, because it ruined my immersion of the game, it ruined my opinion of that character, and it felt like I had done all of these things correctly, and none of it mattered. And so I went back through and I realized there was one conversation that I had where I said nothing, and it triggered everything else, so that at that point, nothing else I did mattered. And that, let me tell you, sucks. Dano, go ahead.
Was it the first conversation you have with her in the entire game? Or, I mean, second conversation. So the first conversation is like, hi, I'm Liliana. Then you leave and you come back, and there is a person who's like, hey, we had this double agent, and this double agent did a murder on some of our agents. And you have a choice of, like, telling Liliana to not murder the person, to murder the person, or you can just sit there and say nothing, which I feel like at that point, like, you have no right to say anything. So I just would just say nothing. If you say nothing, you cannot soften her. At that point in the game, if you say nothing, she becomes a monster. You have to know what's going on in the game, because that is a fairly normal thing. It's like, yeah, she has to make hard decisions because this person kind of made a bad, like, you have to protect your own. So that, I think, is a bananas choice by the game. Like there are some choices where you can kind of see what's going on, but that one I think doesn't make much sense. And so,
I wish that it was more on like a point scale of like answer this, get +2 to softening, answer this, get +2 to hardening, or whatever it is, and then whatever one wins out in the end, you get that number of you get that result. But this one's such a clear binary. Did you answer these questions in this way? If so, then you get this result. If you miss on one of them, the other questions don't matter. So I spent, no joke, an hour and a half trying to figure this out. So I went through, I installed a mod, and in order to do mods on Dragon Age Origins, you have to install Frosty mods. That took me a while, so then I installed Frosty mods, and then I looked it up, and then I installed the mod that was softening Liliana, and then I went through, and I tried to do the mod. Mod didn't trigger. So I closed everything down. I then was like, okay, what are the other options? The other option was to use the save editor. So I tried to go into the save editor. Save editor required a program that they were like, you can use the trial for 33 days and then it'll be totally fine. And I was like, okay. And then I went into the program. There's no free trial anymore. It's just $100 to buy the thing. And I was like, cool, not going to do that.
How much do you really want to save this? Right?
Tell me you didn't think about it. I would have. Tell me you didn't think about it.
I did, and then I went, no, I'll just stop playing instead. And then so I re-downloaded the mod. I restarted my computer. I booted it up. There were a couple of people in the post that were like, if it's not triggering, try these things. So I tried those things, and eventually it worked. Eventually I got back through, and it all worked out. And let me tell you, Liliana not being a monster is a character that I am interested in, and it makes logical sense that it would go that way. So in the end, this is a good because we got there, and I'm really, really excited for how the rest of her character arc will go, and I'm definitely going to push her to be the Divine if I can. But that whole arc was quite a journey, friends.
Yeah, this is another instance of, I think the devs in this game did like 95% good. And like the 5% they missed, you're like, wow, I feel like that is fairly basic gamification that we missed.
Yeah.
Like, not knowing if your friends are your friends or not is a pretty insane decision. Like not having a meter of this person likes you is basic game development. Like knowing what's going on is fairly basic. And they just chose like, no, like in the real world, you can't. I'm like, yeah, guess what? Like if I wanted to exist in the real world, I wouldn't be playing your fantasy game for 111 hours. So, let's maybe remember this is a game. And the same thing with Liliana, right? It should have been, she should have a Liliana hardening and softening scale so that you can kind of make that decision while you play. Like it should be an active choice by the player, not like something where like at one point in the game, you make one decision at the first hour of the game. And then for the rest of the game, it doesn't matter what you do, which is what they did.
It's really weird to me too. Like none of your advisors have like a approve, disapprove option, like pop up.
Yeah,
ever.
That is kind of weird.
Like it takes me out of it a little bit because I'm always looking in the corner, like while I'm picking conversation choices, like, do they like that? Do they don't? But it doesn't matter because they're your advisor. So it's like, you don't know. And also the fact that like Liliana is like really the only one that has this kind of game behind the conversations I noticed.
Yeah.
Like Josephine really doesn't. Cullen is like, you can be a lyrium addict or not. That's basically it. And it's like, so there's not as much depth to the other companions as there is with Liliana, which Liliana's great because she was in Origins, right? She's one of the best characters in Origins. So like the fact that like there's this game with her, but there's not a game that really any type of that with Josephine or Cullen or even like Morrigan. It's just strange to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the same thing with the Divine election, right? This is a thing that there is a hidden counter happening that you just don't know about. And so if you don't want Cassandra to be, Divine, you can't just be a good friend and be like, yeah, I think you'd make a great Divine. Like just, because if you do, she gets plus 10 points or something like that, or plus 5 points. Mm-hmm. So you have to be like, I don't think so. Sorry, we're not really that good of friends. It just, I don't know. And like with those kind of things, like gamification is best. Like give me give me some way to see what's going on. Let me make active choices in the game. At least that's for me. I would rather know too much than kind of like have a bunch of stuff happening in the background that like I don't really understand, right? So especially with, I think Liliana is broken anyways in the background, and I think when she's supposed to receive minuses, she gets pluses anyways. I think I read that somewhere, where like they even coded it wrong anyways, so it doesn't matter what happens. Like I think it's actually hard to not get Liliana as a divine.
Good.
So, what's our third good?
So keeping on Liliana. So after the romance scene with Iron Bull, like there's Iron, like it fades to like the thing starts and then you go fade to black, and they come out and Iron Bull's leaving your quarters, and Liliana is coming into your quarters to talk to you, and he's like, "Let him rest. He's had a rough night." And she just like she doesn't say anything. She just looks off to the side and tries to forget what she just observed, and like walks away. It is amazing. It's one of my favorites. Like it's just an absolutely hilarious scene. If you can find it on YouTube, go find it. It's great.
That happened to me in real life when I was in the Navy. We were doing Hurricane Katrina relief. I was working in the wardroom, which is the officer mess, and so I had to get up early to help like get ready for breakfast. And everyone except for the captain and the XO have to have shared bathrooms essentially. And so we had a bunch of German engineers on the boat who were helping fix the pumps that keep New Orleans from being underwater. And one of the German engineers, a bigger fellow, was wearing just his most skin tight briefs you could possibly understand, with his flip flops on and a towel slung over his shoulders, walking down the hallway. I'm like, "Good morning." And then our chaplain, who was a woman, walked out, and she was like, "Oh," and averted her eyes. It was a good day.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions. 3, that's a magic number. I will ask myself 3 questions.
Hey there, Matt. What are you liking so far?
How normal the whole relationship with Iron Bull is. Like, if you're just a male inquisitor, it's just don't even mention anything. There's not even really any background gossip happening about a gay relationship happening. It's just it's accepted, it's normal, it's just part of everyday life, and it's kind of great, honestly. Storm Rage, what are you liking so far?
I, having now gotten to experience the different stories with my companions, I think all the stories are really interesting. I wish that they had cut the McMuffin quests for the companions, because they don't really do much other than give you some approval, as far as I'm aware. There's not a big scene at the end of and now you know more about this person. So I'm probably just not gonna do the other McMuffin quests of travel across the entire map to find one thing. But the actual quests that are involved in stories and plot are just really, really well done. I just finished up Solus's, and his view of spirits and the Fade is super unique. I think Cassandra's is one of the best in the game. I think Iron Bull's kind of decision is very short, but really interesting. And there's just so much good in how these companions are written. Deano, what do you like it so far?
Morgan grew up. She isn't just an angsty teen with no friends anymore, but an adult trying to do best by herself and her son. And it's kind of great. Seeing Morgan, adult Morgan, instead of Morgan kicked out of the house because she couldn't stop fighting with her mom. It's really cool. Honestly, they don't really mention it much, but seeing adult Morgan was nice, because it was fun being friends with Morgan at the end of Origins in this last game, when you complete her DLC and she's like, "I'm sorry that I can't stay, but I have to go and do this." And she disappears into the Meryl mirror. It's great. It's really great. Hey Matt, what are you struggling with?
Not having enough time to play. I'm enjoying playing tremendously when I get to play, but sometimes work and life gets in the way, and I can't play as much as I want to, and I want to play this game a lot. It's fun. Storm Rage, what are you struggling with?
That war table's so big. That war table has so many things. And I really wish that there was a filter to just turn off the repeatable war table quests, because I can assure you, I don't have any interest in gathering resources from the hinterlands. Not even a little bit. And all I want to do is like the actual plot quests, but they take so much time. Deano, yes?
Finish up, and I got 2 things for you.
And so like and also you can't see what are quests versus just missions on the war table itself, and that is infuriating. Where I was like I was trying to figure out, I have like 5 different war table missions, but I never know what they are. When I'm in the war table, I have to like go out, I have to go into my journal, I have to look at it, and then I have to go, okay, so this thing says this thing, and then I have to click on each one and be like, does this describe that thing? And it's an absolute nightmare. I hate it so much. Even though the concept of it is so cool, I think there's just too much, and I want it to be trimmed down. I don't need gathering resources in the hinterlands.
But
Okay,
hey, how you
so
supposed to get all that elf fruit to upgrade your castle?
okay,
Yay.
first off, there is a leather gathering quest that Liliana does. I think it's in Empress du Leon, but I can't remember which one it is, where she gets great bear hide, which is the absolute best leather you can get in the game. So I have her doing that on a nonstop loop because it's 6 great bear hides, and they're so tough to farm. And second, now that you've had a taste for the war table, there is a mod you can get that removes the times on the war table. So if you want to just go through and clear out your war table, you can go ahead and download that mod, and it will clear out and you can just go ahead and just click on it and take care of the times and just catch up on everything.
That is excellent. I'm installing it
I
now.
mean, I'm not sure why they needed like a mobile game mini game in the game, but I'm not a big fan of it.
I've done it both ways. It actually does add a lot to. I do enjoy like some of the bigger ones where it's like this is a thing that's going to take some time and everything. I enjoy it. I think it could be done differently. At the time that wasn't a mobile game thing. That's cool, Dean.
No, look.
Okay. All right, Dean's got Minecraft for his birthday, and he showed me it's a bunch of TNT. And what's going to happen here, Dean? It's very cool, dude.
I have a new way of mining.
You do have a new way of mining.
Can I show everyone?
No, okay. We should a little bit, okay, bud?
Wait, nope. I have to go to sleep.
You have to go to sleep? It's 8:15, Dean. You have like an hour and 15 minutes before bedtime.
Oh, come on!
Is someone sleeping in your bed? Is there a villager in your bed, Dean?
Yes, villagers keep stealing. Like I have to sleep in the game. And now time to show everyone my beauty.
Okay. Show me later, okay, bud?
I want to show everyone.
You want to show everyone? Well, no one can see it except for me.
Wait.
It's an audio format, so it really is.
Oh, like them.
Oh, Matt and Storm Rage, they also can't see. All they can see is your ear right now.
Could you hold it?
Oh, want me to hold it? Okay. Okay, so now you can see that we have a whole bunch of TNT here.
That's a lot of TNT.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's a lot of explosions. That's a lot of TNT. That
Listen,
went
wow,
boom. Very
Matt
big.
was very impressed, and Storm Rage agreed. That's a lot of TNT.
Mm-hmm.
TNT's your favorite thing to do? That makes sense. Very 11-year-old of you.
Yeah.
I mean, as a 45-year-old, yes, it's also fun in my life.
I have no idea where we were at. What are we talking about?
I'm about to ask you, what are you struggling with?
Oh, it's kind of a bummer that Morrigan's son is kind of a normal kid. Like he comes up and greets you. He's like, "Hello, I'm Steve, and I'm a normal kid." And you're like, "Cool, bro. Love that for you." And then Morgan comes up. And he's like, "Go do your homework." And he's like, "Yes, mother." And you're like, "Oh, okay, I guess. Cool. Good for you." Like, it's fine, I guess. It's an interesting story choice, but it kind of feels like they were like, I don't know what to do with the storyline, so normal kid. Matt, what surprised you about the game?
How much I really kind of like enjoy going back to like older areas and just revisiting stuff and be like, oh, I forgot to do this over here. Let me do that. Like, I was spending a lot of time just like going to the hinterlands, finally clearing out that bandit camp and getting everything kind of done there after I was done with the Varric quest down there. You know, it makes me feel really dumb and like, why didn't I do this sooner? But I'm like, also like, it's kind of fun to go back and be like over leveled and just murder people. It's great.
It sure is.
Stormrage, what surprised you?
There's so much in this game. There are just straight up bunches of zones. Like, I looked at it just before, and not counting the DLC, I think there's like 4 or 5 zones that I just haven't unlocked, and I'm probably not gonna, because there's just so much. And I think for sake of me, I can't. Otherwise, I just will never finish the game. But I really love like how much content is in it, and it keeps surprising me that there's just more and more and more and more. And I don't know how Deano manages to do everything and is going to 100% complete this game, because it's an obscene amount of quests.
Playing a lot. It's my cozy game, so like whenever we're just like hanging out watching sports or hanging out as a family, I just have it on the background, like spamming crits. And then I will surpass 500 hours on the Steam version here in the next like day or two. I've put a bunch of hours. Into this game.
We counted just before we started. I have 69 quests that I have opened right now, and I'm probably gonna finish 10 of them. Like, I will be going into the final few missions with plus 50 unsolved quests.
I think I have 12 or 13 left in the main game. I think we saw.
Yep. Deano, what surprised you about the game?
So how much context the Exalted Plains region gives the civil war between Gaspard and Celine. Like, you don't really understand like the breadth and damage that this civil war is doing to Orlais and its like people until you go into the Exalted Plains and see like towns that have been there since they like conquered the elves are like literal rubble, and people are trapped on the other side of bridges and need to be like rescued, and the elves can't traverse the region because their land skimmers are getting caught up in like the like potholes because of like the spells that were done and stuff. It was really, really cool storytelling that was done in that region. And you do like end up helping both sides because both sides are like besieged by the undead at that point. And so it's just like really cool. So and then the undead being the former soldiers. So like you kill the undead and then you get like soldier equipment because these were the soldiers that were left, on the battlefields that the Venatori then, raised. It was very, very cool storytelling, and I absolutely loved it. In previous playthroughs, I've never would 100% of the game before, and so I didn't give as much context to the region, or like really pay attention to the context of the region, and this time I really did, and it was really cool and really interesting.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Hey, Stormrage, sell the game to a friend.
Your friends are flawed. Is punishment or redemption more earned? Oh, wait, is there a whole world-ending threat that we should probably take care of that I haven't touched for, like, weeks? Nah, we'll figure that out later.
Matt, sell the game to a friend.
Go ahead and ride the bull.
Indeed. And I will also sell the game to a friend. Make a friend. Watch him build a rocking horse. Discover he's a murderer. Next week, we are going to get bogged down in the hinterlands. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. You can find links to our Discord and content information in our link tree in the description of this episode.
And Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah! Let's start an Inquisition, baby.
The Disney End of Year Show! Everybody bye!
Oh, I thought you were going to say something, but it was a yawn.
It was a yawn. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're all good. All good. Yeah. Yeah, Dean. Go ahead.
I had my first experience of like I've just laughably out-leveled this for the first time so far, and it was the Iron Bull quest, and it was super short, and everything was level 7, and I'm level 15,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is very interesting.
Yeah. I had that with the Cassandra quest where I was like, I'm 16, they're all like 11, and I'm just doing basic attacks and murdering everybody. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I killed all of the pack with a single ability, and I was like, nice,
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah. Imagine being a completionist who enjoys like being challenged in games, and like that happened to me in my first playthrough within like the first 10 hours of the game or something. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can play this game. This is awful. And then I discovered that you can turn on the even ground. I think that one is what it's called, where like the game levels with you. I'm like, oh, okay, that fixes everything. And so everything is level 23 with me right now. So yeah. Nice. I do enjoy that. But that makes the dragon fights even more fun because they level up with you, which makes them even makes it even crazier how easy these fights have been. So in my last playthrough, like my complete playthrough where I was a tank, I would basically solo them because everybody else, my party would die, and I would just gum the dragon down with like my sword and shield. And it was like, you can't kill me, and I will eventually kill you. But now I just have like ridiculous DPS. Like I do ridiculous damage. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for this week. Dean wants to show me some Minecraft stuff, so I'm gonna go check that out. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.